I am a single woman, and during my experience with dating, I realized that there's a general consensus of men who are just not in a rush to get married. And they seem to be okay with being single, and they seem like they have all the time in the world. Now, I understand not rushing because there's a lot of pretty packages with damaged goods. Everybody can be beautiful, everybody can, fix the physical, but they don't work on the internal. And we're having to sort through a lot of mess. And even the Bible says in the last days that men will be lovers of themselves. So I understand not rushing. However, there should be a level of urgency based off the fact that tomorrow's not promised. And it doesn't take a believer or a Christian to realize we're living in end times and Jesus Christ is coming back. So there should be a level of urgency and intentionality. Also, I understand that men and women, we have two different levels of urgency because, we have that biological clock thing going on. But let's face it, people are not living as long as Abraham and Sarah did in the Bible days. So it's different. So I understand that sense of urgency. The main thing is being in tune to the Spirit of God, having a relationship with God. One of the benefits of having a relationship with God is He will not leave you in the dark, and He won't lead you astray. He'll tell you who's for you and who's not. But if you have one foot in darkness and one foot out, you won't be able to hear clear, and it will be like a radio signal out of tune. The main thing is being in tune to the Spirit of God, having intentionality and urgency. There's not going to be procreation in heaven. It's only here. That's one of the reasons why God created marriage. And so you want all that God has for you so that He can get the glory out of your life. The only marriage that's going to be happening in heaven is the bride of Christ. That's the only marriage. So get all you have here while you can.
Ooh, another feminine woman, but this one's put the pressure on me. Think I'm in love. Hey, listen, I always try to bring some feminine women y'all way, and let me know what you think. Does she make some sense? Now, she says relationships are in the end times, and I 100% agree. She's hit on several points, and I want to touch on just a couple of them, right? Now, she's speaking in a religious way, and I'm not extremely religious because I be on these streets, so I don't want to take it in that direction, but I do want to touch on a point where she says the sense of urgency is different between men and women. And yes, there are a lot of men opting out of marriage altogether, so you can just forget those men. They are not turning back. They don't find anything appealing about marriage, and it's all based on how easily women can give up on us. The divorce rate is probably about 50% now. So just think, if you get on an airplane, there's a 50% chance of that airplane crashing. Would you fly? Probably not. And we're in a society right now where that airplane is going to crash 50% of the time. So men are opting out altogether. Now, when you talk about procreating and making families, yes, men don't have the same urgency as women have because of biological reasons. Women do have a clock. As soon as they turn 30, the sense of urgency seems to just they turn it up a notch, right? Men are not falling for it anymore. Men are not going down this love path where a woman can decide 70 to 80% of the time that she wants out, and then you're left with picking up the pieces of your life, being in depression, having your kids taken away, having all your finances destroyed, and starting over at square one. So yes, women do have to understand that it's not about men finding love with other men. It's about men loving themselves and finding ways to cope without women. Men always seem to solve problems. Men are problem solvers. And, men will find a way to solve this issue of companionship. I saw on a YouTuber. I think it's Highlights or Manosphere Highlights. Great channel. On that channel, I saw they were talking about robot companions, which, if you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's an interesting thing, because there are a lot of men in this world who are lonely. There are a lot of men in this world who would, see benefit from having companionship, but they can't get it from women. So I see how robot companions could be something that could be introduced, and it could be of valuable to some men, right? Not all men, but to some. Men will solve the problem of companionship. I don't support that, because I think, we should naturally be able to procreate. We should naturally be able to build relationships, lasting relationships, without men finding ways to solve the issue. Men are finding quick ways to go overseas, get their passports, and be with women who understand the value of men. And yes, a lot of women are very lonely. I stroll through this app and see all the 40-year-olds that are advertising themselves to younger men. But here's the issue: they got multiple kids, multiple baby daddies. They've been divorced, and they're out here, and they do not look like their younger selves. They're advertising an older version of themselves, and they think they're gonna gain success. Well, you should have stayed married to your husband. But anyways, if you like what I do, guys, hit that like button. See you guys on the next one. Peace.